Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Will on Safety. I thought I'd do a quick discussion on what a day in the life of a health and safety coordinator looks like. So a day in the life of an EHS coordinator is completely different day on day. So for example, this week, I've been lucky enough to visit one of my sites in Switzerland, in St. Gallen. And part of that process, my day-to-day completely changes. So, for example, I flew out on Monday. It was really early start for me, 6:45 in the morning. I had to be ready to go, bags all packed. Taxi picked me up at 6:45 to get me to the airport. And I flew out to Switzerland. I had a stopover in Amsterdam, but it was no time to relax. I was there for sort of 4.5, 5 hours probably. But during that time, I did have a couple of work calls and meetings I had to attend. So I went to the business centre, conducted those sort of meetings, caught up on a few emails, and eventually got into St. Gallen, got into Zurich in Switzerland, probably about 6:30. Then I had to collect a hire car. It took a little bit of time and eventually got to St. Gallen Hotel around about 10 o'clock in the evening. So that was Monday. Tuesday, I was on site, for about 8:30 in the morning, and I had a third-party site review looking at asset protection, fire protection, that kind of thing. So Monday was really taken up with assisting the site, providing a bit of support to the site in terms of their third-party asset protection and fire protection audit. And then on to Wednesday, because I hadn't visited the site in about 3 or 4 years, I just conducted an EHS review with the site. And really, people get a bit worried about reviews or audits, but it's a gap analysis. All it's really doing is just looking for opportunities for improvement. So that's what I did on Wednesday. Unfortunately, when you do travel for business, your day-to-day job sort of gets left behind because you're so busy dealing with a site or dealing with contractors that might be conducting audits. You might be in and out of meetings all day. What you normally do on your UK-based day-to-day gets left behind a bit. So you might finish at the site, say 5 o'clock. What I tend to do is I will try and just enjoy some of the local culture, maybe visit a couple of touristy spots, because for me, I feel privileged to be able to travel with work. And I'd feel like it would be a shame if I couldn't experience at least some of the local cultures, customs, and see some of the local sites. So generally, I'll finish about 5. Currently, because we're coming into the spring, it gets dark about 7:45. No, that's a bit late actually. It gets dark about 7:15, should I say. So I have a sort of hour and 3/4 where I can do things. So I try and get myself out and about. Probably around 7 o'clock, I'm back at the hotel. I'll then work for an hour, catch up on emails, do my day-to-day job, answer queries, set up calls, training, whatever I need to do for the following week. And then probably about 9 o'clock, that's really when I'm going to be going for my evening meal, for my dinner. And I'll normally take about an hour, have dinner. This week, generally, it's been a dinner at the hotel restaurant, which, to be fair, has been absolutely lovely. But sometimes I'll go into town for dinner, especially if one of my work colleagues potentially wants to take me to a particular restaurant or show me something in the town. So come 10, 10:30 in the evening, I would have caught up on my day-to-day emails, organised any sort of work meetings I need to organise for the following week, caught up on some report writing, maybe answered some queries, maybe produced some policies or procedures. But around about 10, 10:30, that's really when I'm settling down for the evening. So I'll tend to jump in the shower and then maybe just pop the news on for an hour before I go to bed. But that is really the sort of a day in the life of an environmental health and safety coordinator that has to travel abroad. In the UK, it's slightly different. I spend my day organising calls, having calls with people, attending meetings, project meetings. It could be meetings about updates to plans from previous reviews. I might be doing training via Teams on manual handling, compressed gas, asbestos awareness. It can be a whole host of different things. But day to day in the UK is very different day to day when I am visiting a site abroad. If I'm visiting a site abroad, really my day to day stuff doesn't really start until that sort of 7 o'clock onwards time scale. So when I get back from a trip, and I know when I get back tomorrow, I've got quite a long stopover in Amsterdam, but again, my stopover for those 4 or 5 hours, I've probably got 2 or 3 meetings to attend during that time as well. So I am definitely ready for a rest when I get back to lovely Yorkshire. And I need a good couple of days to recuperate. People think that if you travel for business, it's all, lovely meals out and you're not really doing a lot, but that couldn't be further from the truth, really. Like I say, you can't do your day-to-day job because your priority and your focus is on whichever branch, whichever establishment you're visiting, and you have to do your day-to-day work in the evenings when you get time in the evenings, just to keep on top of that. So I hope this has given you a good insight. I'm just in the middle of packing at the moment, ready for my flight tomorrow morning, which you can sort of see there. So I've got all my stuff laid out, just ready to pack to make sure that I don't forget anything. But again, tomorrow I'll probably be up around 5 a.m, 5:30. My flight's at 9. I've got an hour's drive to Zurich. So if I leave at 6, I'll get there for 7. Gives me 2 hours prior to the flight to return the car, check in, etc., etc. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope that gives you a little bit of insight into the day-to-day life of an international EHS coordinator. And like I say, I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please check out my other videos. There's plenty of interesting videos on there. Some of it is very informative, how I got into the health and safety industry, what qualifications you should be going for, why there's a need for a good health and safety management plan, etc., etc. So please check the channel out. If you do like it, subscribe. It's free to do. It helps my community grow. And like and share it with your work colleagues, with your work partners, if you think they'll find benefit from it. But until next time, remember, folks, stay safe by choice and not by chance. Bye for now.